market is crashing, but Syta is exploding. That's right. We're going to be pulling up the charts. I'm going to be sharing it right here with the TikTok. Let me just pull it up right here. One second. Okay, sorry, I should have had this ready. Okay, here we go. Here we go. 5-minute chart. Let me just pull something up here. 15-minute chart. That's what we need. Okay. Let me see. Is this on YouTube? You guys see this? Okay. Phenomenal. Okay. Make sure, guys. Make sure we're going to click the upvote. Okay. So here is what's going on with Syta. Syta is exploding. If you've seen my videos a couple of days ago, I told you we get the big signals. The key technical signals are triggering. That's the breakout above the moving averages. All of them, the 5-minute moving average, the 5-minute chart, the 15-minute chart, the 30-minute, the 1 hour. They're all breaking out of the 50 moving average, and now the 200s. So basically, you have this what I call a high probability setup. This is a super high probability setup, meaning like the odds of this thing exploding is like, if I had to put odds, I would say it's like a 95% chance, like literally 95% chance. The last time we saw this was about a month ago. Remember about a month ago, I told you guys this thing is going to explode. It was $1.88, $1.90. And everybody was laughing, but I told you, look, this thing we're going to have the golden cross on the moving averages. We're going to have the breakouts on all the charts, and it will happen. It's about to happen again right now. So hang on a second. Let me just turn this camera around and show you the charts. Okay, here we go. We're looking at the 15-minute chart. So we had a breakout. This is the 15-minute, right? 15-minute chart, Syta. Breakout above the 50 and the 200 moving average, which is we have not had in a very long time. Okay, look at this. The last time we had this really was. Hang on a second. Is the chart frozen? Okay, right over here. This was like when was this? Late June. So almost a month ago. Stock was $1.90, and we broke above the 50 moving average, and we had this massive move from $1.90 to $5.20. And basically, you would have doubled your money in a couple of days. Okay, same thing is happening now. Guess what? Guess what else is happening? You see this? We're gonna have the golden cross. We're set up for a golden cross on probably Monday or Tuesday. So this is very, very explosive. And guess what? Let me show you something else. That's your 1 hour chart. Wow. Pennant breakout. By the way, we got a breakout above the 50 and the 200 on the moving averages right here. So this is Justin is saying hopefully goes up more than 20 cents. Listen, I'm looking for it to go back to over here. You see this? That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a return back to these levels, and we're set up for exactly that. That's exactly what we are set up for. We're set up for a massive breakout in the chart, guys. Please click the hearts button. Click that hearts button so we get more people watching. And the more people watching, the higher the stock is going to go. Why? Because, look, it's supply and demand. The more people know about the stock, they understand the story, especially when they see these charts. Any day traders looking at this, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. By the way, I should say, these are all high-risk stocks. It's all, paid content. This is... these are very high-risk stocks. We do not do buy-sell recommendations. By the way, if you want to know how these charts work, get the book. All right, Biggie D3C, 18,000 shares. That's a lot of shares. This guy's loaded up. Get the book, guys. If you want to know how these charts work, moving averages, all that stuff, you got to get the book. A link in the bio. You want to get my free newsletter? A link in the bio. Actually, you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say, do this. Hang on a second. I will say... if you want to get the free newsletter, hang on one second. Let me see. Can I do this? I'm going to push this over here. Hang on a second. We'll do a special button here. Okay, hang on a second. We got to get this button. Okay. Click that button. Get the free newsletter right there next to the comment button on TikTok. You see that little button? Click there to get my free newsletter. Get the newsletter. We got a new stock launching next week. I hope. We have like literally 4 stocks lined up, and people have been pushing back for whatever reason, pushing it. I think next week we're going to have it finally. Finally, we're going to have that new stock. So, guys, you want to get the notifications, click that button on TikTok to get the free newsletter coming to your email box. Nasdaq is collapsing. We may have a big crash in the markets happening right now. I'm going to pull up the charts on Nasdaq, but again, this is the book, 10-Bagger Blueprint. Link in the bio. Click the link in the bio, or if you're on YouTube, link in the video description to get the book and all that good stuff. Hang on one second. Let's pull up. So what is happening with Syta? Okay, so we got major breakouts happening now. Let's move it on the 5-minute chart. I think next week, Syta, I'm looking for a double next week. I'm looking for a double. If we, now, the key number we want is 392. If we break out of 392, if we hit that today in the next 12 minutes, we're set up for a massive move on Monday. By the way, again, the big catalyst, what's going to make this thing go to $7.50 or $9 potentially? It's the Nasdaq approval of the merger with Core Gaming. That's the AI company, $80 million revenue AI gaming company. Look, once Nasdaq gives the go ahead, this thing just goes to the moon. That's the way it works. Somebody's asking about ADTX. Okay, so this guy's saying not one 10-bagger among them. Well, actually, Syta went up 700%. Syta went up 700. I'm going to pin this comment. I love this comment. Syta went up 700%. So you're right. Not one of these guys is up 10x yet, but we're only 2 months in. So these stocks we've been only talking about the 2 months. Okay. If you read my book, 10-Bagger Blueprint, you know it takes about 6 months, 9 months on average for a stock to increase 1,000% once we start with it. It takes an average because, again, it's not overnight. Again, these guys on TikTok, they want immediate results. Now, they're not happy. They're not happy with the fact that Syta went up 700% in like a week. That's not enough for them. That's not enough for them. We introduced it at what price? $1.30, and it went to $9. Tyson Nichols is asking an interesting question. Will the Nasdaq crash, will that stop the merger from happening? No, it has nothing to do. Somebody, Faisal is asking, when is the merger? You know, when did I tell you for the last 2 weeks? I thought it would be like literally any day, and it hasn't changed. I mean, again, they've made the filings, so that's real. It's real. You know, everybody was wondering, oh, is it real? No, you saw the filings. They made the SEC filings. They showed you the financials. They're not going to do that unless the thing is already like really far ahead. So when is it going to happen? You know, I think they've gone back and forth. You know, questions. Yeah, which listen, anytime you've ever done any type of SEC registration statement, Nasdaq, there's always back and forth comments, back and forth, because you know these people have nothing better to do. It's the way in reality. They don't want to listen. Anybody working for a regulator or whatever, like they don't, they're not in a rush. They have no sense of urgency. Okay, there's not in a rush, and they're very risk averse. They don't want to be blamed if something goes wrong, God forbid. And meanwhile, the lawyer on the other side is happy. They're happy to let it go because the meter is running, so they can build more. So nobody has any incentive to make it happen except for the companies. Everybody else, they don't care. They really don't. It's just the companies who want it to happen. So, okay, let me zoom in on the 15-minute. Okay, so as we go, we're getting closer and closer to this breakout, the golden cross on the Syta charts. Somebody asking about lottery. Listen, what's happening with the lottery officially? We haven't worked with lottery in about a month. So, when you see me not talking about a stock for a few weeks or a week, if you see me not talking about a stock for a week, it means we're not working with them, whatever it is. So we haven't done anything with lottery in literally 30 days. Okay. So maybe we'll come back in a couple of weeks. I think the stock will probably be lower. They might have another shot. But we haven't been working with lottery since literally July 1st, officially. Anyway, Syta, by the way, Syta, technically our contract with Syta is up. Our contract with Syta is up technically, but I'm still promoting it because until the merger goes through, at least until the merger, because we want to cross the finish line. We got a lot of people who are in the stock. So I'm committed to the Syta. We've had a good relationship with them. So even though we're not getting paid for this, we are committed to seeing it through to the finish line. So till the merger, I'm going to be doing updates, maybe not on a daily basis, but a lot of people are watching. So I'm happy to this. Somebody's saying, do you promote stocks? Hang on. So this guy's fun. This is a funny. So instead of finding good stocks, yeah, no, how it works is this. I'm looking for quality companies, right? Undervalued stocks, deeply undervalued stocks, which can increase by at least 4x because they're 75% trading 75% discount to comps with the right chart setup. But here's the problem. Unless I'm going to get them out to millions and millions of eyeballs, those stocks are not going to go up. And by the way, that's my business. My business is the business of promoting stocks. Companies hire me to get millions of eyeballs on those stocks to help explain the story. And that's why we do very well. I literally, wrote the book on how we do this, 10-bagger blueprint. Learn all my secrets, click the link in the bio. So yeah, I have a 10-part criteria for any stock we introduce to answer your question, which is right here, chapter 4. You see that? We got 10 criteria right here. Okay, that's in the book. Let me open it up. Let's do a little bit of let me see. What do we have here? Okay, so yeah, we got 10. We got basically 10 criteria that we look for. Company has to check off 10 criteria. 10 criteria for any stock that we bring on to the channel. Hang on a second. Let's see here. Richard AVFC. There we go. Subscriber to the channel. There we go. So Richard is in at 284, 759. Okay, so yeah, we'll talk about Hoth. Okay, I'm gonna pull up Hoth. So basically, let me just finish off with Syta. We got 7 minutes to go. I thought we have a major breakout right now. Looks like it's gonna have to wait, and now it's dipping below the 50 moving average on the 5-minute chart. So, by the way, I think that's a fake out. I don't think that's that's basically just a shakeout here. I think we go much higher Monday. Again, my opinion, not advice, not a buy sell recommendation. Let me pull up Hoth. Hoth has been kind of hanging out here. The stock was ready to go. Look, if you look at the chart, we get a pennant forming. So we introduced it over here. It exploded day one, and then it consolidates. And when is it going to break out of these levels? I don't know. I thought it would happen. I thought it could have happened already over here. So we're, a week or two behind, 3 weeks behind, whatever it is. Listen, these things have their own pace, but we are above the moving averages, so it's bullish. Trend is up. Everything is right. With Hoth, everything is looking good. They got multiple shots on goal. So with Hoth, it's in a good position. And again, the stock is it's actually holding very strong. It's actually holding very, very strong. I just want to show you guys something because a lot of you, we get a lot of new people watching. I just want to show you one thing because I was showing this to somebody. Okay, let me show you something. Okay, so because just so you guys understand how these stocks work and why, when they consolidate, meaning they're going sideways, that's because they're getting ready to make a much higher move. I'm going to show this to you for the millionth time. I was just showing somebody, this is our track record of previous wins. Cytodyne that went up 20x. Look at this. You had a consolidation just like you have with Syta, just like you have with Hoth, and then exploded, right? You got another consolidation, another pennant break, and then exploded again. You see this? Consolidation, this is a pennant. Boom. You see that? That's a massive move. The stock went from 50 cents to $10. 50 cents to $10. Let me repeat. From 50 cents, where we introduced it, it went to $10. Same thing with visibility. Same thing here. We introduced it at 17 cents. Consolidation dropped. It even dropped. And then, boom, had the big move. Peak FinTech, even better. We introduced it. Okay, the big money was made. Everybody was happy. And I said, hey, it's ready to go higher. We got the consolidation. It's ready to break out. And you know what happened? It actually went lower, shook a lot of people out, and then boom, it exploded. You see that massive move to the upside? I can show you again this over and over again. All our charts are exactly the same. These are all our past clients. That's right, the stocks we are promoting. This is what happens when we promote the stocks. The volume explodes, they consolidate, people give up because they're bored. They give up when they consolidate, and then you know what happens? Boom, the big money is made in wave two. The big money is always made in wave two. So the question is, are you gonna be in for wave two? Are you gonna be in for wave two? That's the question. A lot of people will not be in for wave two. Syta seems to be do better. Yeah, you know what? By the way, I do not recommend anybody trading this stock after hours because it's just too crazy. I mean, it's insane the way this thing moves after hours, both to the upside and downside. To the upside and downside. I don't know what this means. Join community perks. I don't even know what that means. Hang on a second. Hang on 1 second. 1 second. Hang on. Okay. Let me see if I can pin this again. Pin and notice. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Anyway, guys, click the link in the bio above if you want to get my free newsletter. So what's going on? What's going on with Hoth? So you got to be patient. You got to be patient. Most people, by the way, guys, click the hearts button so we get more eyeballs on the stock. Yes, we are done with the lottery. We haven't done anything with the lottery in a month. Again, what you want to do is you want to look what we're doing, right? Because I always don't like to say, oh, we're no longer working with the company because, like, I don't want it to seem like there's some sort of negative thing. It's not that. There could be whatever contracts and whatever it is, right? Who knows? So I don't like to but hey, if we're not talking about a stock for like a week, it means we're not working with them. Very simple, It's the way it is. Okay, so guys, click the hearts button. If you're watching on YouTube, like, subscribe, get notifications. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on what's the other one that they have? They got the Twitter, X Twitter. Okay, so Syta. I think our best audiences are on TikTok. Our best audiences are really on TikTok, I think. Syta, not Syta, Aditex. Somebody's talking about Aditex. Yeah, listen, Aditex. I'm actually very surprised Aditex is down. I mean, it's very rare for our stocks to drop after we launch them. Very rare. Aditex is that case. I mean, we introduced Aditex at $1.30. Today it's like $1.05. It doubled. Nearly doubled. It went to $1.80 on day one, but then it pulled back. Why? I have no idea. I really don't. I have no idea. It's I think there was some underlying previous selling pressure. Is it shorts? I don't know. I don't get it. We've had a lot of problems with Aditex, frankly. I mean, I'm annoyed because I'm expecting this thing to be higher. Look at this. Aditex is like it's not acting right. It's not acting right. And they had really good news. They had really good news this week, which is that the news on Aditex was that they signed Spartan Capital to do the IPO for was it Pure Santa? That's the cancer subsidiary, cancer detection business. Yeah, that could make the thing worth 5x where it is now. So, this is Hoth. Okay, let me see. So yeah, I'm really surprised because again, they got multiple shots on goal for being a 20-bagger stock. Why the stock has been drifting lower? No idea. Okay, the market's closed. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, so Syta, we closed at 373. I thought we were gonna hit $5. I thought if we would have hit the 390, the algos would have gone off. So let me show you what I'm looking at. I'm gonna show the TikTok people exactly what I'm looking at. Okay, so watch it. Oh, hang on. So what happened here? Oh, what happened here? What happened here? Okay, flip camera. Okay, this is the 30-minute chart. The green line, that's your 200 moving average. It's at 392. If we break out of this green line at 392, it's going to be positioned to go to $5. Okay, we break that 392. And by the way, this is a pennant formation happening. So we get the flag, bull flag, whatever you want to call it. It wants to go higher. That's what it's telling you. And by the way, that's your 1 hour chart. Again, you get this base, breakout, pennant, ready to go higher. Is it a golden cross? I'm not sure what you call it. What do you call this? It's kind of like a convergence of the two. But on the 15-minute charts, you had a golden cross. So the golden cross is coming up. So I believe, okay, guys, very important. What I'm going to tell you right now, very super important. So what's going to happen is Monday. Hang on a second. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one. Monday, if we go to 392, it's going to trigger this. We're going to have a golden cross. The 50 is going to go over the 200 moving average. That's going to be Monday. It's going to be probably right around here. And when that happens, the stock could go to absolutely to the moon. We can absolutely go to the moon on Monday. New moon on Monday. New moon on Monday. Just like the Duran Duran song. Somebody saying penny stocks will make you broke. No, penny stocks. By the way, these aren't even real penny stocks. Because we've done penny stocks. We've done nickel stocks, 25-cent stocks, 5-cent stocks, literally 1-cent stocks. These are all $1 or $2 stocks or whatever it is. No, we got the system for 10 bagger gains. 10 bagger gains. It's not the day trading. We're not the day trading channel. We're not a day trading channel. We're the 10 bagger channel. The 10 bagger channel. That's what this is. So stay tuned. Monday could be a massive, massive day for Syta. We have the charts are lined up for a golden cross on the 15-minute charts. We got a breakout ready to go on the 30-minute charts. That's at 390. So at 392, magical things could be happening. $3.92. Somebody's asking, what about dilution? Doesn't matter. Again, it's something I explain in the book. That dilution is only when stocks are going down. That's for dilution, not this stuff. Not this stuff here. Okay. What do we got here? So, yes, guys, click the share. Yeah, please click share, like. If you're watching on TikTok, please click the share and like. When is the new stock coming? So we have a new stock. Okay, so look, here's what's going on. We got like literally. I'm really frustrated with this because listen, there's nothing I want to do more than launch a new stocks like literally every week. The problem is we're kind of dependent on the companies giving the go ahead, right? So I have right now like literally four companies in the pipeline, like at various stages, like they want to do it, they want to wait, they want to do it. These guys, a lot of these guys can't make up their mind. Excuse me. And right now we have two guys who basically say, yes, we want to go, but they've been saying that last Friday, today. So we have basically, they might go tomorrow. I mean, not tomorrow. They might go next week. I'll know end of today. By Sunday, I will know. Monday morning, I will know. But right now, I have basically at least one, hopefully one launches next week. And then after that, probably the next week we'll have another one. So yeah. So by the way, what's going on with Nasdaq? Oh, I want to bring this to your attention. This is big. This is huge. I want to explain to you. I want to explain to you what's happening in the markets, which is a little bit concerning. It's concerning. It's concerning because the Nasdaq. I'm going to show you the charts. They're looking rough. Looking real rough. Okay, so a couple of days ago, I did a video here on TikTok. I said, listen, the markets are about to crash. Now, I like to be a little bit dramatic because it's TikTok. You know, you gotta play with that thing. But I said, listen, markets look very shaky. And the reason I said that was because it just wasn't acting right. For example, with Aditex, that really good news. That stock should have gone up big time on Tuesday. It should have gone up big time. And it didn't. It actually dropped. Why? Something is wrong with the market. I look at the charts on the Nasdaq and I say, shit, this thing is ready to break down. And it was kind of in that balance. If you kind of look at it, it was just touching the moving average. It broke below the moving on the 50. I'm going to show the charts in just a second. And, you know, and it dropped. And then the next day it kind of came back, but still. And I said, okay, it looks like we might be okay. But now we just broke through. We just broke through all key support on Nasdaq. And by the way, what's worse is this. What really concerns me is that the Russell index, which is the microcap index, has not made new highs like Nasdaq, and neither has the Dow. You have a divergence that's bearish. You have this bearish divergence between Nasdaq and kind of the other markets. So you got just the high flyers, the Nvidias or whatever, the Palantirs, everything else has been, you know, so that's a negative thing. Now, let's look here. So today we broke down. I'm going to show you the charts in 1 second. Okay, here we go. So, but anyway, I'm hoping to have the new stock next week. I'm going to be really annoyed if we don't. I really am going to be annoyed, honestly. Because I need new stuff. I can't talk about the same 5 stocks for 5 years. Come on. Okay, so this is what's going on. This is what I was talking about. You got the moving averages, right? And we broke a couple of days ago. We broke below. Look, we made a new high. We made a new high in Nasdaq, and it closed lower. And look at this. Now you got a death cross. It's not a golden cross. It's a death cross. That's what this is. When the 50 moving average goes below the 200, and you got this gap down on Nasdaq. So this is very bearish. Now again, you got kind of a bit of it looks like you found some support. They found a little bit of support. You might have an inverse head and shoulders. You might have a bounce. You might have a bounce higher Monday. Maybe. Oh, look, actually, this is not bad. This is not bad. It's not bad. You have a pretty decent shot of a bounce on Monday. Pretty decent shot. The odds are against it, but you do have a shot of a pretty decent bounce Monday. And you're going to have resistance here. This is the Nasdaq 5-minute charts. Now, this is the 1 hour. Here's what concerns me. Okay, so look at this. It's perfect. Look at this. You see how it's been following? We broke out of the 50 moving average. This is Nasdaq. And we didn't even touch it for like almost a month. Look at this. Very strong. And then all of a sudden, you know, I did a video on this earlier today. All of a sudden, it starts hugging the moving average, you know, kind of like a boxer on the ropes, you know, like a boxer on the ropes. He's just hanging onto the ropes. He's getting punched in the face. And it's just hanging on there. Actually, I guess people don't watch boxing anymore. I think everything is UFC now, right? So it's kind of like these UFC guys, they're getting punched in the face. They're just hanging onto the ropes. And then, boom, it goes down. It goes down. And you broke through. So down on the canvas, the question is, can it get up? And look at this. Now we're in the 200. If we break below the 200 moving average, that's real trouble because we have not been below the 200 moving average since here. So that would be very, very bearish for Nasdaq. And can Nasdaq pull back? Absolutely. Absolutely. Look, Nasdaq has been overextended. It's been really overextended. And I would not be surprised if we have a major pullback. Rick Slick. I was looking at the 1 hour chart. I was just looking at the 1 hour chart. If you look at our YouTube channel, that's where we have the charts actually showing. The Trump tariffs. Yeah, I don't know. Look, the tariffs, negotiating, whatever it is, you know, it's gonna be rough. He just raised the tariff on Switzerland. So, you know, guess what? You know what that means? Price of Rolex is going up. Swiss watches are well, the good ones. Rolex is going up. Very bullish. Well, maybe not, because maybe less people will buy it, but short term, it's going to mean that, you know, yeah, it's if you basically you missed out. Basically, you missed out. Okay, so let me just pull up something here. Let's pull up the Russell index, because our stocks are really not, even though they're listed on Nasdaq, really they're like a Russell index. That's the micro cap. And it's looking rough. So just so you know what I'm talking about, hang on a second. Okay, so let me just flip over. Okay, so this is the Russell index. Russell index. This is the real market for, that's our stocks. Basically, micro cap, small cap stocks. And look, the Russell index has never recovered. You know, this is the, you know, Nasdaq is all higher. Russell index is down. And look at this. This is the daily chart. This is the daily chart, not even a 5. This is a daily chart. Very bearish. We just closed below the moving averages, the 50 and the 200. And we have not been there in quite a while. So this is very, very bearish. Look what happened last time. Look what happened last time. We had a crash. Am I saying it's going to happen? I don't know. I'm just saying that you want to be on the defense a little bit. You want to be careful. You want to be careful with these stocks. Look at this. That's the Russell, and you're gonna have a death cross on the Russell. The 50 is gonna cross over. This is the 1 hour chart. The Russell, the 1 hour chart on the Russell. So really bad. The Russell is looking really bad. I mean, this is not good. Russell is very, very. Now again, it could, you know, it's very possible. Look, we're overall, I think we're actually, you know, I'm not like a doom and gloomer type of guy. I'm not a doom and gloom type of guy. So I don't want to say, oh my God, the world is not coming to an end. I think the economy is pretty good. There's some rough spots. Overall, the economy is pretty good. So it's very possible we turn around again. You don't want to be arrogant and say, oh my God, this is it. The market is going to go X. No, you have to take it with the information that you have. You got to go with the information you have, because these things can change like literally within 20 minutes. You know, I've had many videos. We've had many videos where we put it out saying, okay, we got to break out. And yeah, it was breaking out and it reverses back down. So, you know, look, these things are very fluid. It's very fluid. You got to go with it. And the main thing is, again, if you read the book, 10-Bagger Blueprint, link in the bio to get my book, the video course and all that. The takeaway is this. The takeaway is you kind of have to go, once the trend starts, you got to ride that trend. You may have some fake outs like along the way, but once the trend breaks out, you got to go all in on that trend. So somebody's asking about ADTX. ADTX is kind of it's on the ropes. It's on the ropes. It's down. We introduced it we launched at $1.25, I think it was, or 30. It went to 2 and change. So it nearly doubled in one day, and then it went right back down. And now we're lower. We're at $1.05, which is much lower than when we start, which is unusual. Again, how often does that happen? Very rare, very rare. It's very rare. So that's what it is. Let's see here. What do we got? What do we got? Let's see how Syta's going. Syta 373. Oh, there's the 1 hour chart. Okay. This is Syta talk. Sunny Sarah. Syta talk. This guy's funny. Okay, I just want to wrap up with Syta. I don't know if you're tuning in late to Syta, but I just did a whole video thing on Syta. It's on YouTube now. And that is, we have a very bullish breakout on Syta. Okay, we got breakouts on all the charts. Everything is aligned. The stars are aligned. We have what I call a high probability trade now. Very high probability because you got a breakout on the 5-minute chart, the 15-minute chart, the 30-minute chart, the 1 hour chart. They're all, they're all basically saying moon mode. They're all in moon mode. Hang on a second. Yeah. These stocks are all in moon mode. And now the question is, oh yeah, the number you want to watch is 393. 393 on Monday because that's going to trigger a golden cross. And it's also a major breakout on a 200 moving average on the 30-minute or the 1 hour, 30-minute chart. So Syta looking very, very bullish. And look at this, we're at 385 right now in the after hours. By the way, I do not recommend trading after hours. I don't recommend it because the market is thin. It's just it's a joke. But the stock exploded after hours. Yesterday, last night, the thing went up to like how much were we? We went crazy. It went crazy last night. Hang on a second. I'm gonna show you. Hang on a second. I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna show you guys why I do not recommend trading after hours unless there's very special circumstances. Okay, so we closed over here. We closed last night yesterday we closed 330 and change. 330 and change, and I was telling you, okay, this thing's ready to go, 350. And after hours, it went from 330 to 425. So almost $1 move. It's a massive move. Only like 100,000 shares of volume, and then boom, it dropped, and then boom. Okay, so that's what's going on. Yeah, so do not trade. Never trade after hours because this is exactly what happens. You can have crazy moves like this after hours. Imagine if you would have bought over here. If you would have put a market order in, you got filled at 425, and now you're down like you'd have been down $1. That's ridiculous. So I would say the only time you want to trade is during market hours, unless it's a special situation. It's a special situation. You use limit orders. You got limit orders. And what a special situation, meaning like, okay, we know something big is going to happen the next day, and that's it. We got to get in. And more or less, the price is the same as it was when it closed. So within a few penny, a couple, whatever it is, it's okay. But if it's 50 cents higher, it doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. So that's it. Okay, guys, I'm wrapping up. I don't know how if somebody can tell me, how do you end the live? I don't know how to end the live here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause it because I don't know how to end it. So let's see here. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do one thing real quick. Get the free newsletter. Okay, click the link right there, the link right next to the comment button to get my free newsletter. Discover these 10 bagger stocks. Get the free newsletter. Can we see Hoff next week at $1.50? Very possibly, and higher. If we break $1.50 in Hoff, if Hoff goes above $1.50 or it hits $1.50, it's going $2.50, $3. Just that's what the chart is saying. So again, click that button right there to get my free newsletter, which is right at the bottom, right next to the comment button. There should be a button for you to get the free newsletter. Free newsletter comes out every day. Okay, that's it. So we are wrapping up, and we'll see you all next week. All right, that's it. Oh, shit, look at this. Always Eric Wood comes in late. Eric, Keith, Eric Wood, these guys come in like after everything is over. What's going on here? What's going on? Okay, you're gonna have to watch. You're gonna have to watch, Keith. You're gonna have to watch after. I didn't even see your comment because I didn't see anybody on YouTube. So okay, you had a comment there 15 minutes ago. I didn't even see this, so I didn't see any of this. Syta is ready. We got a breakout on Syta, 100%. I think based on where it is right now, we're talking about 20%. Tomei's got the book. Okay. There we go. Syta and Hoff. Listen, both of these stocks are looking real good. Both of Hoff and Syta are looking real good right here. We're having problems with Aditex. Aditex is having a rough go. And LITM is kind of like, I'm not worried about LITM that much because it just does its thing, like, whatever. But Aditex, I'm kind of, I'm a little bit, I don't like it when the stocks drop below where we introduced it. That's unusual. Hopefully it turns around, but I don't like what's going on, to be honest with you. Keith, good point. That's right. Keith knows from experience. Yeah, we haven't worked with lottery like literally since July 1st. Since July 1st, we haven't worked with them. So, very simple. I'll just tell you off the record. Is the company was supposed to pay? It was a whole payment structure, whatever it is, right? And we gave them terms because they didn't have the money when they started. It was okay. They were supposed to pay us on July 1st. They paid us without getting into it. We got paid part, but we didn't get the rest. I was like, you know what? Listen, man, don't tell me you can't pay on July 1st because you're hiring all these other mooch bum promoters and wasting money on dumb shit, like wasting money on hiring a lawyer to sue short sellers. That's bullshit. Okay, suing short sellers is a waste of time. Okay, instead, the guy is spending $100,000 for some retainer in a law firm, which is never going to go anywhere, and hiring mooch bum promoters. So I said, okay, fine. You know what? You think you're going to do okay? These guys are going to help you. Watch what happens. You know what? Watch what happens. You hire a dozen other rando promoters. Everybody and their brother-in-law. Everybody takes credit for. By the way, when that stock went up, everybody was taking credit for it. But we were the guys that did it. If you watch what happened, it was on TikTok. The second we put it out on TikTok, it literally went to the moon. The second we put lottery on TikTok, it exploded. It went from like 88 cents to $2. It exploded. 100 million shares traded because of this. And then everybody was saying, "Oh, because of us." Everybody was taking credit. Let them take credit. Let these guys take credit for what's been going on for the last month, because we're not involved in the last month. So whatever's going on in the last month, they should take all the credit for. So yeah. Aditex, I think exactly. Yeah, look, you got to buy ugly, sell pretty. I agree. Look, it's and you know what? You got to buy these things when they're at their ugliest. The fundamentals of Aditex are, listen, I'll put it this way. I think the fundamentals of Aditex are better than Syta. How do you like that? How do you like that? On balance, you know, they're all very different. But I would say if you balance that out, I would say that fundamentals are better because of the valuation, because of, you know, all the things. Again, multiple shots on goal. You got a bunch of other things. But so I think fundamentally, Aditex is a better play almost in a certain way. Again, I'm not saying it's comparing really apples to watermelons. It's very different. Kind of, you know, but Aditex, I think when everybody gives up on Aditex is when it's going to move. And by the way, we've had stocks drop after we introduced them, and you know, drop like Aditex. We've had that. I'm trying to think. We had a bunch from like, not a bunch. We had a few. We had probably 2 or 3 stocks like that. If I remember, it was Nextech and Imagine AR. Both of those stocks. I think we had one more. Both of those stocks, after we launched them for whatever reason, Imagine AR kind of fizzled out. It dropped like 50% almost. And then it bottomed out, and then it exploded, and people made like 15 times their money. It went up like 1,500%. And Nextech went up like 1,200%. Yeah, listen, I think with Syta, the upside with Syta is this. Again, not a device. This is just my opinion. When the merger is approved, or I should say if, because nothing's for sure, right? But when the merger is approved, the stock will pop to $7.59. It'll probably consolidate, and then we're going to see what the new company does, right? We got to see what the CEO does. And by the way, Keith, just so you know, Keith, technically our contract with Syta is up. Technically, we're not, you know, technically I don't have to be promoting Syta. I'm doing it because I want to kind of follow through till the merger closes. I'm kind of committed just to, like, I want to see it through till the merger close. But technically we're not really working with them. So I'm telling you this way. I say, look, I'm going to be promoting Syta till the merger closes, even though I don't have to. We have no contract. We have no arrangement. But once the merger closes, my hands are, they're off my hands. You know, it's kind of like, when your kids turn 18, that's it. You're no longer responsible. You know what I mean? Well, technically you kind of do, but it's not. This is a stock. So it's not, so like once the merger happens, I'll probably never talk about Syta again, because I don't think the new guy wants to. I think they kind of have a different on it. I think they have a different. I think the CEO of Syta, who's coming in, I think he has like a different kind of philosophy of marketing or whatever. He's more like a fundamentals guy. He thinks he's going to move in fun, whatever. It's fine. I don't care. And they're going to have fundamentals. They do have fundamentals. So the question is, we'll see what happens. I don't know. But just don't hold me responsible for anything after the merger, because I'm not going to be involved. Most likely. I mean, it's 99% sure I'm not going to be involved. So, but until then, I'm gonna push it, as much as I can, even though I'm not technically working for them anymore. But I think we got a lot of people watching it, and I want to see the thing through. I think it's going to be any day. I mean, if you're going to tell me, oh my God, the merger is going to be. It's not. Nasdaq is not going to give them approval for another 2 months. If I knew that, then I would say, okay, forget about it. I'm not going to spend 2 months of working for nothing. But if it's like another week or two, whatever, I'm okay with it. Listen, we've done. We've had a very good relationship with them. I've had a very good relationship with Syta. They've been 100% gentlemen, which is very rare in this business. So I'm happy to to do my thing. Yes. So, the fundamentals and Aditex. Okay, so with Syta, the fundamentals, we got 2 things. You got 2 catalysts. Number one is you got the merger. That's the big. Once that closes, I think once it closes, the stock probably will drop back. Notice, I think it goes to $9 on the merger, pulls back, and then the market's going to say, okay, we want to see how these guys perform. Can they increase revenues? The whole story after the merger with Syta is going to be, okay, can this guy scale up the revenues? Because they have impressive revenues, $80 million. Impressive. Small margin, very small margin. It's okay. It's fine. The market will give them, grace for that. But they better increase the margins. They better increase the margins and scale up the revenues. So they're going to have 3 months to do that, maybe 6 months at the outset. So they better do that. If they don't do that, the stock is going to be, back to where, it's going to go back down to $5 or whatever. But if they do deliver, then it goes to $25. It can go to $25, So that's kind of what it is. But, it's buy the rumor, sell the news. Now with Aditex, so fundamentals in Seattle could be like any day. That's the catalyst. The big one is the merger. With Aditex, the big catalyst is, excuse me, in my opinion, the big catalyst is, they're kind of happening now. The market it's not rewarding them, which is this, the IPO of Persanta, the acquisition of Evofem, which is supposed to happen in September. Again, they need to raise some capital. There's a lot involved. There's a lot involved for that merger. So it's not a sure thing. It's not a sure thing by any means. And then they got the other biotech. So they got a couple shots on goal here. It's which one is going to happen first? I don't know. But it's looking good. Look, I like the stock. The chart right now is looking rough because they're below support. I'll pull up the chart just so you see this, because I'm concerned about this. I don't want to be beating around the bush. Here's the Aditex chart. We got, this would have been your double bottom around $1.11, $1.10. Okay, $1.11, $1.10, and now we're below it. So we better bounce. We're gonna see. We're gonna see next week. It's having a rough go, which bothers me. We could have an inverse head and shoulder happening, so it might turn around. It's coming back. They're going to need to deliver news. They have to deliver news, basically. Okay, you want to parlay. Yeah, that works, the parlay. But Aditex is going to, listen, all these companies have to deliver fundamentals. They have to deliver real news flow. Because this thing we do here, that's not going to make the stock go up. Me talking about the stock doesn't make the stock go up. The companies ultimately have to execute and deliver our news. So hopefully that happens with both of them. And I don't see any reason why it won't. So things are looking good, but at this point, we're getting to the point where the companies have to deliver results next week. So with that said, guys, thank you for joining. We'll see you next one. Here's to your 100x. And again, if you want to get our free newsletter, links in the bio to get the free newsletter and to get the book also, 10-bagger blueprint, link in the bio. Here's to your 100x.